Narrative News brings you daily news today on Thursday, the 13th of April 2023. Going to the Democratic Republic of Congo and the migrants in a northern region in Angola who go there for work in usually illegal diamond mines have been suffering a mass expulsion again, but many human rights organizations and organizations at the grassroots dealing with these civilian migrants argue also that in the process of expelling such numbers of Congolese migrant workers that dozens and scores and sometimes hundreds of rapes take place. Back in 2018, Angola expelled nearly 350,000 workers in 1 year. And also in another year, in 2008, there were some 650 rapes of Congolese migrant workers documented against women and girls there. Now, first of all, people do not go and leave their villages and towns to find work unless they are in a terribly precarious and pressured situation in their place of residence. Often this is around destabilization. It can be climate change and droughts and lack of water, and it could be just a general pressure of growing capitalist exploitation. The point being is that in the regional body, the South African Development Community, SADC, really should be imposing pro-migrant policies to be assisting people and not allowing this amount of, this extent of human migration and devastation and oppression to occur. Several decades on after nominal independence from the colonial powers, we expect much higher returns from the sacrifices of the people who fought colonialism to get flag independence. Of course, the challenge is that the grassroots develop their revolutionary and grassroots organizations to exactly demand that. In a kind of connected story going over to North Africa, to Libya, the foreign ministers of both Ankara and Cairo, that's Turkey and Egypt, have both stated that they want to see an election happen in Libya, but they are supporting opposing juntas within the Libyan body politic. Turkey is aligned to the West, supporting the Tripoli junta, and Egypt is aligned to the Benghazi junta, along with the UAE and other states. How can it be that these two states, that's Turkey and Egypt, supporting totally counter-oppositional violent forces in Libya, come to do anything positive for the people of Libya? They have totally disregarded the only real social movement in Libya, that's those who ran the socialist state for 41 years. They've discarded them and marginalized them. So this is just a dirty racket going on in which these two states will continue to seek their own self-interests at the detriment of the Libyan people, as has been proven since the NATO operation to destroy the place back in 2011. Ghanaian heritage Black Power leader Roy Sawh has passed away. He is a significant leader of the radical working class grassroots, diaspora grassroots from the former British colonies of Indian heritage, but a leader along with many others in the Black Power and radical Black and Asian or Black and Brown or just Black working class movement here. We will be sharing another episode uploaded later today, focusing more on Roy Sawh. And also on this day, that's April the 19th, back in 1919, the British colonialists occupying India conducted one of the most infamous massacres that they conducted while colonizing India, which was the Jallianwala Bagh massacre or the Amritsar massacre. It's a public park, just opposite the Golden Temple complex, in which there was a peaceful gathering of people protesting British rule, who were then gunned down by the British armed forces, which were actually manned by the Gurkhas, recruited Nepalis into the British colonial force. The British colonialists had this kind of very manipulative approach in recruiting from what they constructed as the quote-unquote martial races, a form of colonial flattery and violent divide and rule, in which they would identify certain groups of colonized people as being quote-unquote martial races. Going back to the Amritsar massacre at the park at the Jallianwala Bagh, what was happening at this time was actually a burgeoning mass-based, radical, militant resistance of the people of undivided Punjab against the British authorities. In subsequent days, the British actually conducted airstrikes against revolutionaries and resistance fighters in Punjab. It's a story of legend that a young boy who witnessed the massacre was a young Udham Singh, who becomes a martyr, a shaheed Udham Singh, in avenging that massacre by assassinating the general responsible for it, General Michael O'Dwyer, at a public event in London in Caxton Hall, in which he and his wife, that's General Dwyer, were speaking. Shaheed Udham Singh, because of this act, becomes a primarily revered revolutionary sacrificer or shaheed or martyr in the struggle of the Indian peoples for liberation, and really becomes a part of the global movement against colonialism, and particularly British colonialism. That's Counter Narrative News. Please do continue to support us. We have passed the 400 subscriber mark, which is really wonderful, having just gone into more than 3 months of our existence, starting in January the 1st this year. Please continue to support us by encouraging your friends and contacts to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at counter_CNN. Please do have a look at the other episodes we upload. Today we had a really fascinating conversation with the veteran grassroots black Marxist revolutionary, also of Guyanese heritage, that's Eric Huntley, at his residence in West London. And it's just a fascinating interview that we would encourage everyone to have a look at and to share as well. Many thanks.